room. And welcome to our lovely tunnel view. This
Giving
happens every
shout
week.
outs to everybody hanging out in the chat room. We got Mr. Certainly Bruce, we got Mark Gambler, we have Andy Calloway, Mattable, Jim Hendrickson, and over on the Twitch and Facebook, we're back streaming on Facebook and on the YouTubes.
There's an issue with our connection. I have not encountered this.
Average watch time. Twitch
No,
is going.
the giant error here. Is that not an error?
Yeah. Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming.
Yeah, it's our connection's like really bad. Yeah, that is super odd. Bear with us, folks, because I'm trying to figure out if this is like Wirecast issue or is it just... I think it's okay. Oh gosh, it's buffering on Twitch, says Andy Calloway. YouTube is live.
We're going. Just
Yeah.
chop off this the beginning in the video.
Yeah,
It's going, though.
Well, okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. I can't quite fix the web view, unfortunately. That's just not happening. Maybe. Give me a second. It's funny, you can be super prepared and it'll still not quite work right. All right, well, sorry about that, folks. Let's go ahead and jump back into the show. We're going to start off with Adafruit is open, and it's safely open. So definitely check out adafruit.com/open-safely if you are concerned. You can check out all the different things that Adafruit is doing to ensure safety with the internal team and products getting to you. So definitely check that out if you want to take a look at that. We got newsletters every week. There's a product-focused newsletter that happens. You can go to adafruit.com/newsletter to check that out. We have a daily newsletter that you can have access, that you can check out. Go to adafruitdaily.com. There are some different categories that you can check out. The latest being IoT Monthly, headed by Brent, who is our core dev on Adafruit IO. So check that one out. And also we have a lovely video from Kattni that happens every week. It is on Python on hardware, so you can subscribe to the newsletter or subscribe to just us on YouTube. And you can check out the playlist for all the archives as well. So check that out. All right. CircuitPython meetings happen every Monday at 2 p.m. So you can check out what's going on with all the core devs and the community that happens on the Discord channels. So you can check out Discord by going to adafru.it/Discord. If we come up with any other stuff, we'll just throw it at you. But we want to say hello to everybody in the live broadcast chat room inside of Discord. Hello, everybody. Thank you for bearing with us as we get this going.
At this playback, there was no issues. Twitch kept going.
It's funny because Wirecast it's literally airing out. It's saying that the connection's like not working.
It's lying.
It must be because
Let's go ahead and jump into this week's project video.
We're going to shout people out. All right.
Oh yeah, we already did. But
you?
we can shout them out. Adafruit, if you guys want to see some of the behind-the-scenes banter that is going on behind the scenes. Lots of lovely people hanging out. Shout-outs again to everybody. Mr. Certainly, Andy Calloway, Mark Gambler, Mattable, Jim Hendrickson. Liz is hanging out in the chat.
Liz, good morning.
Fetty2. And a couple other people up over.
I think that might be causing it.
All
Last
right.
week we didn't have these issues and I didn't stream to Facebook. And
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this week's project video.
Yeah. I just want to stay on this subject because it's so annoying me. So if you go to learn.adafruit.com, you can check out this week's project we got in the shop. We've done one project with them before, and we figured let's do another one.
Let's not remind ourselves on what the project actually was, because we cannot go there.
What do you mean?
They're the Mickey ears. We can't go to Disney.
Oh, right. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. But a huge shout out to Jeff Epler, who kind of had this idea, and a couple other folks too.
Yeah, I think it was Foamy Guy up in the Discord chat where a lot of discussion happens in the show and tell room and the 3D printing help channels. There's always lots of really cool ideas there, and it was mentioned that it would be really cool to have these little Lego compatible LED strip holders. If you want to jump over to the overhead, and we were like, hey, Phil Lamar wanted something similar like a year ago, and then bam, we just made this awesome little holder that the only thing that was missing besides the clip holders was some feather adapters for this. And we've made quite a bit of Lego projects in the past. You can check out the Learn Guide mount for these. So we went ahead and made a couple of different components that are compatible with Lego. So not only the feather ones, but a bunch of the components that support a little circuit like that. So a slide switch that has little studs on the back, and some battery ones as well. So we have the LiPo battery holders for this. So the cylindrical ones, and as well as a 500 milliamp hour one. These are all resizable. You can make a bigger one. So depending on where you're actually mounting these, you can have a nice universal way to lay these out. So much more like a breadboard. This was very handy in terms of laying out your design, laying out your text for these, so you can adjust all of the shapes for these. So if we go ahead and jump into the Learn Guide.
Alrighty.
Take a look at this week's project. So we made a little hook for this so you can adorn it over your sign. The whole premise behind this was all of the people that are working remote from home, a lot of the kids doing distance learning, always walking in on classes and sessions, so we wanted to make a way so people would know that you're busy. So turn it into a sign. There's a whole premise behind it, and having it just display your preferred text, like busy or in a meeting, on air, what have you. You can of course draw some nice little spooky designs, with Halloween being August. We're in August, so Halloween has started.
Yeah. Cool. We're starting it off with some NeoPixels, of course.
Yeah. So the board behind this is the Feather M4 Express.
Okay. Yep.
And of course the flexible silicone Neo-like skinny NeoPixel LED strips. So we have two different versions of these, or actually a couple different versions, ones that are not NeoPixel, and then these skinny ones. We have bigger ones if you're making like a giant sign.
Yeah, this
Take
is
a
great.
look at these.
Yeah, the clips will fit this one, not the bigger ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's really cool about these is the way that they're constructed. They are facing upwards.
They're
side lit, and then they have this very nice silicone top that is doing the diffusion, so it's evenly distributing all of the light for that. So it's kind of it's not super high density, but because of the diffusion, the way it works, it doesn't need to be. So it has a nice smooth effect. You can kind of see where each of the individual pixels are when it goes through the little sparkle animation here. Speaking of the animation, this is the animation library made by our very own Kattni and Roy, where the individual LEDs are on that. And look how fast this is.
Yeah, you can speed it up to go really, really fast.
Mm-hmm. So Kattni has used this project or this library in. One of the coolest ones is the LED wall. So you can like have a bunch of strips and like create images and text scroll by. Lots of really cool stuff.
All right, let's hop back over to the Learn Guide. Is there anything else you want to talk about in the overhead?
Simple amount of parts, just the feather board, the LED. We have the cylindrical 2200 milliamp hour battery here with the stud version of the holder that can just plug into any area here. And then the feather is plugged in with the tube version, I believe, on that. And then we made a little wall mount on here that has both sides. One of the techniques that we're using so we can print this without the need of supports is actually just splitting this model in two and then just gluing it back together. That way you don't have supports on either of the sides and everything comes out nice and clean.
Nice. Nice job.
You need that for all of the tolerances and fitting into the Lego parts here. I'm not using the official Lego base plate because I don't believe they have the tubes in the back, and that's something I really needed for attaching all the components to.
Yeah, we Pedro found this the supplier of kind of better. So that's really nice. We wanted a black one. I think Lego only sells a couple different colors, and black wasn't one that was available for us. So you can see here in the product page, it's stackable. It's not Lego. It says bricks. So if you're looking for a better designed base plate for Lego compatible bricks, check out Strictly Bricks. Does that sell?
If you want to make yourself a little Adafruit Lego inspired little diorama or something.
Back to the website. So this is an Amazon link. We have this linked in the Learn Guide. This is a product page for the base plate that we were just talking about. Check it out. So if you're looking for that, check it out. Lots of different colors.
Yeah, chat room.
Yeah.
Let it Lego.
Let it Lego, yeah. And by the way, as Pedro was saying, we do have a few projects on the Adafruit Learn system. Just type in. Also comes with a little webcam cover-up piece that can go over your laptop monitor. We also did a giant Lego head that turns into a lamp and it has audio using Circuit Playground Express. We also did some 3D printed Lego tape using NinjaFlex material. We did that when that was new and not available yet. And then we did some Lego compatible battery cases when we were doing things. So another thing to add to the many projects of bricks. So check those out if you are indeed a brick fan. Whew. So all the stuff is mostly in stock, namely the flexible Neo strips, neon strips. So you can check those out.
Always a tongue twister.
It is. My tongue is twisty. And we got that link for the brick base plates. Check that one out. It's an Amazon affiliate link too, so you get a little kickback on those. All right, do you want to jump into the circuit diagram?
Yeah, super easy build on here.
It's my favorite. I love the feather. It's so great. It's got all the ground and voltage connections for extra things. Turn it off when you recharge the battery. So really, really nice. It's always nice to see. We got the links to all the fritzing parts if folks want to build their own wiring diagrams. So check those out. Those get updated every week with new parts. Check it out.
Real quick question for anybody who is using Fritz on the weekly. Has anybody realized or noticed that the parts, for some reason, like my whole library of parts or my
broken?
bin, yeah, it's always broken now. Like
Yeah, it's open source software, so you're
going to get with delete all of it and then re-add all of my Fritz
It sounds like Arduino. Like I have to do that every year. I have to delete my library and just start fresh because things get corrupted. But yeah, there's a little note here about powering. If you want to power it off a USB wall adapter, that's probably easier if you just want to have it running all day or all night or something like that. Maybe you're in like a different setting, not at home. You want to have this in the office or something. You can just have it powered by the wall, so you don't need the battery if you don't need it. So plan accordingly.
You can also take the design files for the 500 milliamp hour battery, Lego holder, scale that up, and have a USB battery attached to that.
Yeah. So if you have a separate project that you want to do with Lego, maybe you're powering a motor, you need a battery, that's a good little battery thing.
Moving on to the CircuitPython install.
Yep. Every time we do a CircuitPython project, there's always a few pages that will walk you through installing and setting up CircuitPython, the latest version, on your Adafruit board or community board. So this one just walks you through that with lovely screenshots and a thorough walkthrough. This one, the CircuitPython libraries, gives you a good sort of deep dive into the library bundle, how to download it, how to install it, and just all the details on installing the library bundle and kind of why they're set up this way. All right, and then down to the code. This is actually using the example demo code that's a part of the LED animation library, which is a part of the bundle. So we have that listed here on how to install those. It's just the two libraries, the NeoPixel OG library and the Adafruit LED animation library. So those two libraries there. And then just a little bit of code tweaking. Depending on your setup, depending on how many pixels you're using in your sign, you'll want to update just a line of code here. On line 22, you can see just pixel number. It's 32 by default. Ours had about 84 or so. And if you want to change the pin that your data in is going to on your strip, you can change that here if you'd like. There's a few pins that are available, but D6 is normally what we tend to go to. But yeah, our specific sign had about 84 pixels in it, so that's about it there. And you can check out the full Learn guide on using the LED animation library and all the different attributes and parameters you can change. And there's just a bunch of different parameters you can play with. So check them out. It's not just rainbows, there's also sparkle, pulse, and chase. So you can check those out. Uncommit, I think is another one. So we can play around with those. We just picked kind of the ones that we thought looked the best in the sign. So it's up to you to kind of tweak those out to fit your sign. On to the 3D printing page. Everything's nice and labeled, so if you just want the feather pieces or the switch pieces, you can just read the file names and pull them out that way. But yeah, no supports needed, just a little bit of glue to glue them together. All the Fusion 360 public share links are right here, so I got them listed there. And then the STLs are on Prusa printers and Thingiverse, so you can grab them there. You want to use your standard slice settings for PLA. Whatever is best for your printer. Ours we tend to use these settings here on our Cura slicer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that glue or water? It looks like water.
So those are glue drops. You can use whatever preferred super glue that you like to use. We're using I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, it's like Starbond.
Starbond medium dry. That's what we're using here. A couple drops would do you, and then it adheres really studs onto the base plates.
Right.
So you don't want those to pop off.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Lego.
Yeah, so you can use that technique on something like breakaway support material, which will be excellent for this type of project.
That's true, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Although it would be kind of a waste with just how many studs there are. I think it's a lot more easier to just print with no supports and have everything be as clean as possible.
Right. There's something about printing it faster, which is helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the assembly for these. Mm-hmm. One of the first things you want to do is test out the shape that you're trying to make. Your images that you're going to draw are going to fit together. If you want to have it be able to daisy chain from one letter to the next, you want to plan out how that is going. If you jump over to the overhead, you can see here how I'm jumping over from the B to the U. The strip is just going from one letter to the next, so you can just plan out how that's going to on the base plate to make sure that the letter that you're trying to build is looks good to you.
It retains its shape, I guess?
In a certain way. As you can see right here, it's trying to like curve out that way, so you want to plan which degree you want to use, which I think I totally forgot to mention. There are a couple of different degrees. Jeff made ones that are like 0 degrees, 15, 30, and 45 degree in terms of which way the hooks are facing, or the clips that are facing. So you want to plan and choose which one is going to be the most optimal degree for whatever shape or letter. Who was it asking in the chat room? Deva was asking, how complicated is it to solder these that does not disturb the diffusion that is on the side here? So if you jump into that photo, you can see the way that I cut around this to actually leave the that, like, I don't know what that diffusion part is that is on top. You want to make sure that you leave that so that you don't have any breaks in the diffusion.
Right. Yeah, just cut along the kind of tall side and avoid the top area. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just kind of be careful with your cutting.
Mm-hmm. And you can see there the printing on the back of the PCB there. You can see that there's an I, that stands for like data in, so that way you can visualize which direction you want to set these up. So once you start cutting these up, you probably are going to get lost in which it in a way where you leave the diffusion on top.
Yeah.
don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, I would use like an X-Acto knife so you can get some nice clean edges. But I guess this flush snips is okay too.
Yeah, the snips are definitely a lot more easier to cut away since the material is a little bit thick.
So be careful. And it's not hard to cut it. I mean, it's silicone, right? It's like 2 sets of them, so everything's nice and just stable.
Just glancing over at the Discord chat, people were saying that they had some trouble gluing parts together, or gluing 3D parts together. If you jump back over to that, one of the tips I forgot, parts that you're printing, they're not vertical. You want them all to be flat. Otherwise, whatever glue you use, it's not going to work. On the bed, those are the 2 that you want to glue together. So I tried printing this vertically, and it had all of the line, the layer lines on this side. So when I tried it that way, the glue would not work at all. So you want to make sure that you have all of the flat sides. By flat sides, I mean, again, whatever side that your printer, or the bed, whatever side your object printed on the bed, those are the 2 sides you want to glue together. And like if you have to print in that orientation, sand away at that, and that'll
another
greatly
kind of
help
thing
the adhesion.
Would just use different adhesion if you have time. Something like E6000 is a silicone based.
Takes a while.
It takes a while. It takes a day. What do you mean a while? It takes a day to fully cure.
Yeah, it's quite a while.
We don't have that time, but it's an all-around good adhesive, E6000.
Yeah.
You can get it at craft stores and your local Michaels and whatnot. But it's a little stinky. It's got fumes. Everything has its caveats. But that could be another thing. It's a silicone-based adhesive, so it is flexible.
Yeah.
But super glue.
Yep.
Flat surfaces. Sand them down. Bizarre. I
don't even pay attention.
I know.
I
kind of want to put a sticker right there. So.
All right. Continuing on that little sidetrack there.
Killing my soul every time.
We talked about how to cut away
wire. This stuff's great. It's already black, so it's already kind of masked. And it comes in 10 bundles, so that's a lot of wired connections. You can peel them away and peel cheese. So it works out really well. We have some in stock right now, so pick some up if you want some. Yeah, it's got one line marking on it. Wish there was more markings, but it works pretty well as it is. All right. Yep.
And those are easily adjustable. And then scrolling down, how to assemble a feather. You have the circuit diagram there. You just want to make sure that your wiring is measured so you know where the end of your wire is going to start.
Yeah.
And then plan on placing where the optimal place.
Yeah, where do you want your switch?
And you're reaching to the sign, whatever feels more comfortable to easily turn it on. That bow backpack attach is somewhere in the middle of the base plate, just so you have the weight distribution in the center. And then until the height was the same as the LiPo battery there. That's the tallest object. And that just keeps it so whatever you're mounting it to, it's nice and level with the wall, or the door in our case. Right on top of that, you can add the wall hook. And hook should work as well. That's pretty much it. The design is, just up to however you want to simplify it, or however complex you want to make it.
You could daisy chain multiple, strips and plates together, I suppose. So you could make several words or maybe a hacker's.
The code that the on-air sign that John Park just made, put an airlift on there, so it can be connected and it can know when you're going online. That's actually one of the things we want to do.
Can control it via their Adafruit I/O backend, make a little dashboard for the sign.
Yeah, and one of the other things too is maybe add a light sensor, so it'll only go on when it's dark. It's a bunch of different interactive ways that you can be creative and spin use after
we've been
project's done.
Wish we had it on the door right now.
I know, right?
Let people know we're busy.
All right, cool.
What's your favorite? Oh, the sort of bits for the feather. That's
all of
great.
These, yeah.
Yeah, it's a feather, so it's going to work with just about all of the feathers. I think if you use a proto feather wing and some female headers, then you can easily swap out the feather. So if you got an M0 and you want to upgrade to the M4, you do that, or put a prop maker feather wing for the accelerometer and some other things.
Yeah, I think a lot of the DIY type stuff that I see is just a board with a battery that's like taped on. So cool way to go about those type of projects. And remember, all of these are completely edible. You can look at the timeline.
They're editable. I can eat them.
The studs, they're all just patterns. So Lego projects was.
I took the batteries out.
It's a double A battery. Or, I'm sorry, triple double A battery
put a
holder.
battery on your batteries so you can. My feather on top there.
And it's not this
it's
week's
the stud version.
Community Makes, but next week's is a Duplo one. And it's from.
I'm just kind of playing with Legos now. Cool.
All right.
On that.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into what we're prototyping this week.
Yay! All right, let's do prototyping.
Seeing the black LED acrylic again.
Yay! So this is our little 8x8 square pixel display, built-in slide switch. This is using the black LED acrylic M4, mounted to the proto feather wing, so we can take out the feather if we ever want to update it. In between the standoffs, we have this 1200 milliamp LiPo battery, which is nice chunky. Should give us several hours of fun time. And it's got the snap fit case, so it's running the LED animation library. This 3D printed grid is customly designed to fit and snap over the LEDs on the 8x8 NeoMatrix PCB. The 8x8 NeoPixel PCB has several pins for daisy chaining together. So I just have some wires sticking out there. The acrylic can be cut with a scoring knife, and then you can snap off this piece here. So it's been sized to fit inside the case. This is the Adafruit black LED acrylic. We also have black like 0.2 millimeters thinner and a little bit more opaque, so you can get brighter pixels out of it. But if you want to get a quick look at the difference, it's kind of hard to see over the webcam. But this is the ChemCast black LED acrylic from Tap Plastics, and this is Adafruit's black LED acrylic, which is slightly different. So you really can't kind of tell over the thing, but if you put these side by side, you can kind of see that this one's darker than this one. But yeah, the more distance you apply, the more diffusion you get. So if you want that grid, there you go. So this is, I like that it has a feather wing, so we can pop out the feather. That's why we want to do this like a Wi-Fi thing. You don't need a battery. It could just be powered by USB, so you can have it on your desk. Nice built-in slide switch there, but yeah, it snap fits, and 8x8 to, I don't know, to have fun, to write some code. Maybe you want to have some sprites animated across. I think it'd be cool to expand on the LED animation library, maybe to get some effect, but with the NeoPixel ring, and I figured let's go ahead and do it for this 8x8 matrix. That way it's a little bit more contained, and you get more pixels, and you can create a nice box out of it. So figured I'd do that. So anybody have any questions about the build? I can answer them now or save them for next week, because we'll have a full Learn Guide next week on the assembly.
Super cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Do side by side. So let's go ahead and
put them a little
together.
Lighter.
Yeah, it's definitely brighter because it's just more opaque.
And then there is a slight difference in the thickness as well.
Yeah. Just 0.2 millimeters is what I measured. This is like, it's just less bright, of course. But I'll be frank, I cut this out on my other mill, my Bantam Tool CNC. I just cut it out because I didn't cut it with a bandsaw or just with a scoring knife like I originally wanted to. But yeah, I'll provide like a little paper cutout template so you can kind of mark on your acrylic, and then.
Let's see. Oh, just comment on the feather platform. I'm assuming for the Lego little mount, saying that we should try out split mushroom snap connectors to avoid the need for screws. It's a good idea. We should try that out.
Yeah, totally.
The only concern is, after.
I also have a technique where I use tabs that kind of stick out, and
so it's like a holder.
They grip out. Yeah. It just takes longer to print, and that's about the only caveat there. Is it takes longer to print, and yeah.
And then if that part breaks, of the geometry.
Sizing, yeah, there's always.
Yeah, this is if you wanted to, what I was originally going to do was just get loose on it, still being
Right.
held
I like
on
doing
with
that too.
the
Yeah.
with
For
the nuts.
example, I just put holes, and I'm using the nylon M25 size standoffs here. They're not printed, so that's one way to do it too. If you just had a hole here, you could use your own standoffs. So that could be a good remix there.
Yeah, and then in terms of strongest,
Cool.
what else?
Be cool to have the feather sense in the back here, and then like some sand LEDs. I mean, they are RGB LEDs, but this is a different driver, different LED driver. The RGB matrix library is not NeoPixels. I'm just thinking about
That you'll have the ring version, so
yeah,
couple
we're
of
gonna do
projects for that.
something with that, and that's something special with that. Because
let's go ahead and jump into this week's Timelapse Tuesday. It's this giant boat.
all right, so if you check out every Tuesday, we got a video printing something from the community. This week, it's a boat.
Beverages and
Donovan Smithson put this
Yes.
together, shared it on Thingiverse. We saw it and we thought, hey, let's spread it out. It's a
does a
boat.
really good
Summertime.
job of actually floating. But then when we tried adding the drinks on there, it did not float
got
at
drunk.
all. We should have gotten some fail shots of that.
Yeah, you add a drink, you get drunk.
And we tested it with empty drinks too, and not even like a can or a bottle. It was like little sippy cups
Yeah.
for children.
Yeah, we determined that the little details, like those crates that are modeled into the boat, we think that's offsetting the balance, and it's tipping over because of the crates.
So silly.
It's kind of funny.
But the boat came out excellent.
Yeah, it's a
Look
great
at the
boat.
quality of this, especially with all of the railing that's on here. All the nice little detail came out. This is just printed at 0.2 millimeter layer height, and there are the cargo boxes that are in the design that we think is
Making it sink.
making it sink. And then we have like a bunch of little detail here, like the
Steering wheel. Where's the
Steering
helm?
wheel,
The helm of the ship.
It was an absolute night. Even with having to extrusion width for that, so it printed a lot more thinner. I should increase the speed too, just so that it's like just barely on there.
Supports is an art form in itself.
As you can see, kind of in there, there's a bunch of supports that I just
there's
could
the
not
engine.
get to.
Yeah. The engine needs supports.
I should have measured what the diameter of this was, but
Look
it
at the
fits.
staircase.
Like,
That's some detail, yo.
yeah, there's a ton of detail in there. Some staircases on water still able to
Right. That drainage
get
is for
all
like
the way
the
in
cup,
there.
not the actual helm. The
yeah.
shit, I forgot the name. The butt of the boat. This thing. I don't know my boat anatomy. Sorry.
But yeah, this is a nice model that takes, what did I put in there? 40 something hours to print.
40 hours. By the way, the true title is like
Truly booze.
put drinks in it, and the boat sinks and becomes drunk boat. But shout out to Devin and
Yeah, it looks like it's a
Donovan.
remix. He didn't post what the original file for it was, so I'm hoping it's okay
oh, it's a
to
remix.
post. Yeah, I'm assuming so. He doesn't put what he used to design or anything like that.
Okay.
But it does do a pretty good job of floating
Right.
and holding drinks on a table, not in the boat or not in the pool, in the water.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a nice, huge boat. Excellent for kids to play.
Boat.
Nice little
Nice green
drinky
color.
boat.
Anything fun about the green color? Or
No,
Peel?
you just search for
Saturated.
lime green. Yeah, it's a little desaturated.
Okay.
But it did an excellent job. I was quite surprised, again, with the finish of it. And yeah, first go. Came out really good.
What does it say, Jun?
I
J-U-N?
don't know, JUN, or whatever that is.
Jun. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, look at the notes in the website. I used tree supports, but they were a nightmare to remove.
Any supports that you use in this is going to be a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
I was trying to print it without, but because of the roof, how much overhang there is on the.
No.
But then all of this needs to be glued on.
I'm already out of time. You out of time. All right.
We got some other community makes that we want to
No,
talk
there's one more.
about.
There's
Oh,
one more. Check the note.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's
This is
a
the first
couple
make
other ones.
for one of the projects that we put together like
Was
a
it
year
the
ago,
Neo?
and I wished more people built it, but there you go.
NeoPixel.
It's a great little project. Yeah, the NeoPixel soundboard, CircuitPython powered project here. So this is a make Mace Man posted this. Thanks for sharing that, Mace Man. It says, cool, we recommend you make one. And it's a link to the Learn Guide. Printed it on a Creality Ender 3 Pro with no supports or wraps. It's a really fun project that I had a lot of fun with. Shout out to, I think it's got some legs for future projects. Really neat. It also uses the RGB LED button. So the button kind of changes color depending on like what you press or the mode. This uses WAV audio files. I think we were like on CircuitPython 4 when we did this. We're on 6, which is great. And it uses I don't know what the right word is, just button platform thing. Yep, button pad. So that's cool. First make. You see, I'm excited.
Community makes. Remember, if you want to have yours featured, tag us on the Discord or tag it as a make on Thingiverse or on Prusa. I think they have that ability as well.
What, to post makes on Prusas?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Or remixes.
I think. I haven't got one yet. By the way, check out Prusa Burners if you're looking for, yeah, we're on there. We throw our stuff up there now. We have been. And thanks for folks checking it out. All right.
Some comments. People on the waiting list.
Sooner than later.
Yeah.
But you could also try Tap Plastics, but we can get it now. All right, cool. Well, tonight we're going to be on the show and tell. If you'd like to join us, we invite you to the return of Ask an Engineer, which was out last week. So this week they're back, I think.
Should be a ton of news
New
going
products.
on. A lot of products released. So definitely tune in for that.
Yep. Make sure your sign is set up.
It shipped out overnight. So if you have any orders you've been itching to get in, go ahead and do it now. It looks like everything is back together. We got some orders yesterday. We placed the day before and they came in.
Team, this is a pre-COVID photo. We don't do that no more, but they are definitely safe. So safe that we can't do this photo without saying that this is a pre-COVID photo. Warning out there. All right. So show and tell. If you want to join in, the invite link will be in the Discord chat room at around 8 p.m., an hour after show and tell. I forgot
Last week,
talk about
it is a really cool one. It is adding embosses to cylindrical objects. So
any object.
Oh, any object, yeah.
It's pretty cool. Just about any object. Check out the thing. It's a new feature in Fusion, and I was quite excited about it. So I did some examples, and I got this new kind of technique in my arsenal of techniques, so I can come up with some neat projects in the future. So check that out.
Yes, that's a nice
Good
list
tip.
of techniques there, and just how to use the tool in general.
Yeah.
You can check out the entire Layer by Layer CAD tutorial playlist linked in the Discord.
Cool. All right, and then tomorrow we have John Park's workshop, and then we have a live stream with Scott, which happens every Friday. Last week he did it on Thursday because he took a hike.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's back now, and I think he's doing it again on Friday, so check it out. She didn't go anywhere, but she's been just
Series
great.
for this particular series of Elite Adas is
The Great Search.
Search how she uses search to gather all that she uses on how to measure, like pitches on pins and like.
Yeah, I had an area search down, so you go from 10, hanging out, putting orders in, building stuff, inspiring the little ones. All right, well, again, thanks. Man.
That's it?
That's it, man.
All right.
Hey.
See you later tonight, folks.
Bye, everybody.